Well, hi there, it's Jennifer. I will be properly introducing this video from my car. I filmed it earlier here in just a little bit, but this is where I'm taking us at the end of the video for the glucose movement hack. I am sitting here in the parking lot. It's actually quite busy. You see how absolutely stunning it is. Flattop Mountain is right there in the center. It's a very popular spot here for a lot of people in Anchorage to come up and climb and get to the top and overlook the city. It's quite beautiful. This was so good for my spirit today, and I will be sharing a little more of that as the video unfolds, but I will be meeting you in my car here for the proper introduction to the video. Oh, hi there, it's Jennifer. Welcome to video 13 in this health series where I've been documenting myself using the glucose lowering hacks by author and biochemist Jessie Inchauspe. I've got you on a selfie stick. Hopefully it won't be too bumpy. I'm about to go eat at one of my favorite restaurants here in Anchorage, Alaska, called Spinard Roadhouse. I already know what I want for my savory breakfast. I am dying for a cup of coffee. I come to you on the heels of a blood draw. I have now been doing these hacks for 12 weeks straight, and I had my blood work done. So I'll be getting my A1C number tested, my fasting glucose number tested, and I think my cholesterol. I'm afraid my cholesterol is going to be high. I've not really focused on that, but we'll see what the numbers read. If eating this way has helped with my A1C numbers. One of the things that my family practice doctor said, she said, just some people, it's genetic. You may need medication to manage, but I am hoping through lifestyle. And I've just started working, if this is your first time here, I've just started working with a dietitian. I also this week went and had my blood work done for a full workup blood panel for inflammatory markers, food sensitivities and allergies, and a whole host of other things. She's also put me on a higher protein diet. So that has been a change that I've been implementing over the last couple of weeks. My goal is to get to start off with right now. We're just starting to get 90 to 100 grams of protein, and it's kind of hard. You have to really think about it, but I've been doing good. I'm also supposed to be working on my fiber. I've been doing better with that, and I did get all my supplements. I will insert some videos and show you those. You may be somebody who only watches these glucose videos, but I did just put out a video on my channel, and I'm starting a playlist. I was just this week. This has all happened within 1 week time. Today marks the 1 week moment from when I had my annual mammogram, my routine mammography, and I was diagnosed with non-invasive breast cancer. It's the best, worst place to be. It's breast cancer, but it's the best place to get diagnosed because it has not spread out of the milk ducts and tubes. It has not infiltrated the tissue surrounding the milk ducts. It is the best, worst place to be, but the treatment is serious. It's aggressive. I have a 32 millimeter tumor. I have an intermediate case, meaning that the cells are changing. You can either have it low, intermediate, or high. Thankfully, I don't have high, but lots of things going on this week. And I was thinking with my glucose challenge, and when I first started this challenge, I was writing every day in my journal to build leverage. I wanted to look and feel my best. I wanted to have energy. I wanted to protect my body from the harmful spikes of glucose. I wanted to lower my A1C numbers, lower my fasting glucose numbers, improve my overall health. I was also looking for a lifestyle way of eating. And now that I am facing this particular health challenge, how I care for my body now is even more important. It is the importance of that has gone up times a million, and I was already working on it. And I was thinking about this because part of this health series that I would like to continue on, because I even said this in a video or two. It's like the longer we live on this earth, we are managing one thing or another with our bodies. Things crop up. I had no idea that non-invasive breast cancer was going to be cropping up for me this week. It's been only a week, and how important it is that I do my best for my body now, that I eat in a way that will help me be as healthy as possible to take on whatever I will be taking on. I will be facing surgery in a week or two of some kind, and how important it is that I take the best care of my body. I'm going to get ready to go in and eat here at Spenard Roadhouse, which is where I'm parked at. I can't even remember if I mentioned that in the beginning of this video. That's how kind of chaotic and crazy this week has been. I have been eating, breathing, and living, studying about DCIS and trying to prepare myself as much as possible. And my brain has been crazy, which once again, with these glucose hacks, one of the things that Jessie talks about is when you stabilize your glucose spikes and your glucose numbers, it helps you in so many areas. One of them is anxiety and depression and mood swings. And I tell you what, I need to be as stable as possible for all that's going on right now. So since I'm fasted, I'm going to go in and I'm going to have a veggie starter. I'm going to have a savory breakfast. I'm going to have coffee with cream, nothing sweet. I'll probably have a little starch of some kind. Then I'm going to take us out for a walk. And I think I might go, it's a beautiful day here today. I'm thinking I might go up by Flattop here in Anchorage. It is looking absolutely beautiful today. I may do that or go down by the water. I'm not sure which one I'll do. But I'll take us out for a walk, and then I'll share just more information with you. I'll read a little bit from Jessie's books. But like I was saying, as we continue on, health is something that we will always be managing. Things will crop up, and a week ago, I had no idea. I mean, within a week, I have had doctor's appointments every day, well, except for the weekend. I had my mammogram on one day. Then the next day I had a more magnified mammogram. I had a mammogram with contrast, IV contrast. Then I had an ultrasound. I had a breast biopsy. I met with my amazing family practice doctor yesterday. It was so good. And I'm going to continue to add to that other series now. And I need to update all this information. Today, I'm going to try to see my gynecologist because I have to get off my HRT. I have been doing hormone replacement therapy, just started progesterone. I've been on estradiol for a long time now, but that will all have to change. I have to get off of all of my HRT medications, which I'm also afraid of that. I mean, but I have to, there's no choice, but I'm afraid of that adjustment because there are a lot of amazing benefits from being on estradiol, but when you are somebody who's been diagnosed with a breast cancer, you cannot be on that. I stopped my progesterone last night. I called my gynecologist today, and they're going to try to squeeze me in. I'm like, do I just go cold turkey? Do I wean? Like, how do I do that? My family practice doctor prescribed me the first FDA-approved medication for hot flashes because one of the driving forces for me getting on an HRT originally was because I was having wicked hot flashes. And if there's any wonderful gentlemen watching this video, I thought that I knew what a hot flash was when I was younger. I thought, I'd seen the ladies fan themselves. I'd hear my aunts talk about being hot and hot flashes and feeling sweaty. I had heard about night sweats. I had no idea what it felt like to have a hot flash. I describe it as it feels like an emergency. Imagine if within your body you had a sudden emergency that came on so suddenly. and with ferocity. Like the heat, the overwhelm, and it's almost like it brings like this stress, and it just boom, it hits, and you are literally at the mercy of it. And then it just comes in waves, and it comes in waves, and it comes in waves. Then it comes at nighttime. And so for women who suffer with hot flashes, it's debilitating sometimes because it is literally impacting their sleep. That's how I was too. I was having them all night long. It was awful. But thank God there is a medication to help with hot flashes. But yeah, so I don't know what my future now will look like with HRT, like after all of my breast cancer journey is done. Yes, I'm looking forward to being completely cleared of this, Lord willing. That is the prayer, of course, the focus. But, you know, would I ever be a candidate for hormone replacement therapy because of the protection for the brain and the heart and the bones for a woman, as well as like the skin and the hair? But that's minor when you're talking heart health and dementia and osteoporosis. Lots of things. So boy, so important for me to dial in my nutrition, which I'm so glad I'm working with this dietitian now, working with these hacks, because I may have to learn how to optimize my body without hormones. Yeah, so wow, oh my gosh, so much. So I'm going to go in and eat. I will show you my food. I'll take us out for a walk, share things from the hack. I'm going to continue to add to the series. I'm going to continue to document and share here on my YouTube channel and still do vlogs. I think it'll be good for my mental health to have something to work on, go look for birds and all the things that I enjoy doing here in Anchorage, and see the beautiful scenery, and as much as I can continue to do things as normally as I can to help quell the overwhelm of being diagnosed with DCIS. But it is the worst place to be, so I'm thankful for that. Anyway, I will see you in the next video face to face, but I will add in other parts to this video. All right, bye-bye everyone. Just wanted to fill you in. I've just got back into the car. I brought my sneakers with me so I can do the movement hack after breakfast. That was so delicious. I'm full. I had like 3 full cups of coffee. It was so delicious. But while I was there doing some editing and eating, I already got a call from the breast cancer center. I've already got my appointment scheduled for the 28th of May. That is next Wednesday. Amazing. Like, I have been so impressed at how like fast all of this is going. Like, they don't mess around with breast cancer of any kind. It's amazing. So that is situated. I did talk with my gynecologist office. My doctor is not in today and they couldn't squeeze me in, but they prescribed, and I do have to get off everything. Cold turkey, get off of it. They did send over a prescription. I'll put the name of it up here. I can't remember it right now, but when I edit, I'll put it in here, that I'm supposed to take at night. It's 1 to 300 milligrams, I believe it was, but start off at 100. It is supposed to help with the symptoms because they said they're like, you indeed are going to get a rebound of all of your menopausal symptoms. And I can take it with that hot flash medication. But I have to be off of my hormones in order to take the hot flash medication. Oh, so say a prayer for me because I'm scared. I mean, it has to be done, right? So it's like, well, you know, you got to do hard things, and I'll do it. I'll go through it. But yeah, if you've ever really suffered with a lot of menopausal hormones and then you've been on HRT, Of course, obviously, it's like you have to go through the tough things. You have to go through the things, but making sure I am taking good care of my body will help me. So applicable. Let's go move somewhere, either up by the mountains. I think we're going to go up by the mountains. I thought that I would start this walk off by just reading through all of the 10 glucose hacks, and then I am going to be reading out of Jessie's book, Glucose Revolution, and the hack is going to be pick dessert over a sweet snack, which is something that I have been doing the entire 12 weeks, is anytime that I have desired something sweet, I wait until after a meal. Here are the 10 glucose hacks. Hack number 1, eat foods in the right order. Hack number 2, add a veggie starter to your meal. Hack number 3, stop counting calories. Hack number 4, flatten your breakfast curve. Hack number 5, have any type of sugar you like, they're all the same. Hack number 6, pick dessert over a sweet snack. Hack number 7, reach for a vinegar drink before you eat. Hack number 8, after you eat, move. Hack number 9, if you have a snack, go savory. Hack number 10, put some clothes on your carbs. And with these hacks, if you're not sure where to begin, that's where Jessie's second book, The Glucose Goddess Method, helps you get started. In the Glucose Revolution book, for example, for the veggie starter, her suggestion, in actually the title of it is have a veggie starter before every meal. But in the Glucose Goddess Method, she teaches you how to add 4 of these main hacks, and you just focus on doing it one time a day. And the first hack was savory breakfast. Then the second hack, the vinegar drink. The third hack was a veggie starter. And then the fourth hack was move after you eat. So it's a really great way to start developing the habit of these hacks. And you just start off with 4 of them in the Glucose Goddess Method. And that's what I did over these past 12 weeks. That's mainly what I focused on. And when I began this journey, I was also writing in a daily journal. It was something that I learned from Mel Robbins, and I called it Building Leverage. I talk about that in my earlier videos in this series. And that also helped me to establish the habit of implementing these hacks. Now that I've been doing it for so long, I don't need to write in my journal anymore. Using a journal is a great way to help you get into the habit of thinking about the hacks and using the hacks in your day-to-day life. The journal prompts are, what is my project? Why is it important? And what will I do today? And my example would be, what was my project? My project was to use 1 or more of the glucose lowering hacks by author and biochemist Jessie Inchauspe per meal. The second question was, why is it important to me? Some of my answers were, it was important to me to start implementing these hacks because I wanted to lower my A1C numbers and stay out of pre-diabetes. I was looking for a lifestyle, a way of eating that would allow me to be in a healthy A1C number range, to have healthy fasting blood glucose levels. I wanted to have energy for my future. I'm looking forward to my children and their lives and marriages and grandchildren in the future. I want to look and feel great. I want to have energy for that exciting future. I also want to protect my body from the harmful effects of glucose spikes. And of course, now, if I was doing the journal prompts, I would say that I was adding and wanting to add these glucose hacks so that I have my body in the best state that it can be in to endure surgery, to go through potential radiation. I'm not really sure exactly what my future is going to hold as far as treatment. It might be hormone therapy. I'm not exactly sure. But keeping my body operating at its best will be good for whatever I may endure physically, but then even the mental aspect. Keeping your blood glucose levels stable allows you to have less brain fog, the food cravings, the up and down mood swings, being hangry, and those would be some of my reasons. And then each day for the final question for the entry in the journal is, what will I do today? And that was really helpful for keeping me on track for some of the things that would be easier for me to forget. For example, the vinegar drink hack. If I didn't have it first thing in the morning, especially starting off, I would completely forget about it. But it was a great way to start my day, and I would do the journal entries in the morning. That way I was setting my focus on the day, which I found to be very, very helpful. Now that I have been doing this for so long now, for 12 weeks, my mind is already thinking about the hacks for each meal. I already have that as part of my routine as far as planning and thinking about my meals. But if you're somebody who's starting off, it is a great way to help you establish the routine of thinking about the hacks throughout the day. All right, now I'm going to read to you out of Glucose Revolution. I'm going to be reading about hack 6, which is pick dessert over a sweet snack. Jessie starts off saying, after a meal, we tend to move on quickly to our next activity, maybe doing the dishes, getting back to work, or going about our day. But when we're done eating, our organs are just getting started, and they keep working for 4 hours on average after our last bite. This busy time is the post-eating or postprandial state. The postprandial state is the period of our day when the largest hormonal and inflammatory changes take place to digest, sort, and store the molecules from the food we just consumed. Blood rushes to our digestive system, our hormones rise like a tide, some systems can be put on hold, including your immune system, while others are activated, such as fat storage. Insulin levels, oxidative stress, and inflammation increase. The bigger a glucose or fructose spike after a meal, the more demanding the postprandial state is for our body to deal with, because the more free radicals, glycation, and insulin release it has to manage. Jessie goes on to say, the postprandial state is normal, but it's also an effort for our body. Processing a meal can take more or less effort depending on the amount of glucose and fructose we've just consumed. We tend to spend about 20 hours of a 24-hour day in the postprandial state because we have on average 3 meals and 2 snacks a day. This used to be different up through the 1980s. People didn't snack as often between meals, so they spent only 8 to 12 hours in the postprandial state. Snacking is a 1990s invention, and then she goes on to say, just like low-waisted jeans, something to think about. When our body is not in the postprandial state, things are a little easier. Our organs are on cleanup duty, replacing damaged cells with new ones and clearing our systems. For instance, the gurgling we feel in our small intestines when we haven't eaten in a few hours is our empty digestive tract cleaning its walls. When our body is not in the postprandial state, our insulin levels come down and we go back to burning fat instead of stashing it. Jessie goes on to say, you might have heard that back in prehistoric times, we could, if needed, go a long time without eating. It's because we could easily switch between using glucose for fuel from our last meal to using fat for fuel from our fat storage. This switching ability, as mentioned earlier in her book here, is called metabolic flexibility. It is a prime measure of a healthy metabolism. Jessie says, to increase your own metabolic flexibility, eat larger, more filling meals so you don't need to eat a snack every hour or two. And I think that goes along perfectly with the Glucose Goddess Method book when Jessie introduces the savory breakfast. And she says, you've built your savory breakfast properly if it will keep you full for at least 4 hours. Back to the chapter about eating larger meals, Jessie says, that goes against a popular belief that eating 6 small meals a day is better than 2 or 3 big ones, but research bears it out. Scientists in the Czech Republic in 2014 tested this in people with type 2 diabetes. They decided on a daily calorie quota and got one group of participants to consume their calories in 2 large meals and the other group to consume them in 6 small meals. The 2-meal group not only lost more weight, 8 pounds versus 5 pounds in 3 months, but saw improvements in the key markers of their overall health. Their fasting glucose decreased, their liver fat decreased, their insulin resistance decreased, and their pancreas cells got healthier. Same calories, different effects. Back to one of my favorite topics, calories aren't everything. Why dessert wins? Jessie says, when we forego snacks, we keep our system out of the postprandial state for longer. That means there's time for cleanup, I described above. And by eating something sweet after a meal, we lessen the corresponding glucose spike it would cause because, as she goes on to here to say, shout out to hack 1, eating foods in the right order, eating sugar and starches last after other food instead of first on their own as a snack means they move from sink to pipe more slowly. Jessie says, so whether it's a piece of fruit, a smoothie, a candy bar, or a cookie, if you're going to eat it, do it at the end of the meal. And she's got a little box that says, try this. If you feel the urge to eat something sweet between meals, put it aside, in the fridge or somewhere else, and enjoy it for dessert after your next meal instead. And that's something that I've been working on. I never realized how many sweet things I would eat just on their own or for a snack or before a meal. I mean, I was doing that all of the time. Now, since I've been doing these hacks, I have only had a sweet meal or a sweet treat at the end of a meal. And then I try to use another hack along with it. I might do the veggie starter, I might do the vinegar drink before my meal, but then if I have my sweet treat, it's always at the end, and then sometimes I might move after it. And I have found over time, especially starting the day off with the savory breakfast and having a robust savory breakfast that keeps me full for at least 4 hours, that it has set me up for the day to have less cravings. And just like she was saying, when I do get a sweet treat or I get a craving, I will save it for my dinner and I'll look forward to it. Now, sometimes I'll still crave it, but I won't eat it until after I've had a full meal. And I'll either do a veggie starter or I'll have a vinegar drink or I'll eat foods in the right order before I have that sweet thing. And then once again, using the journal prompts to build leverage also helped me to tell myself no when the habit of having sweets whenever I wanted would try to kick in. I would just remind myself of why I'm doing what I'm doing and make myself wait until after a meal. And sometimes I would have that sweet treat after lunch. I would never have it after my savory breakfast. Jessie's rules for the savory breakfast are fiber, fat, protein, starch for flavor, and sugar only in the form of fruit. But sometimes if I had a really bad craving, I would wait until my 4 hours after my savory breakfast and then have my treat after lunch. I have felt completely satisfied using these hacks and not deprived at all, which is why I love them so much. All right, everyone, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.